Well, universities have played an increasingly important role really over the past 50 years, recognising that innovation and the exploitation of research had become increasingly important in modern times. I think it's gone beyond that nowadays because universities also provide an extremely good anchor point and hub for innovation and incubation of new companies, including those that don't necessarily spin out of the universities themselves. So, in the current climate, of course, where we're facing some serious economic problems, universities not only provide the skills for our high-skilled workforce for the future, but they also provide an opportunity to take forward new ideas and innovation coming out of the university themselves. So, a very important role. Well, the SETsquared partnership is a consortium of research-led universities. Exeter recently joined the universities of Bath, Bristol, Southampton and Surrey, who were the original partners. We've got over £1 billion worth of spin-out value out of this already, and 10% of the UK's university research base actually is based in those universities. Exeter, of course, has joined the partnership this year. It's had, again, a very exciting development where it started on developing a new science park over 60 acres. It's serving already 70 companies and, of course, really very important in terms of providing support for the business environment in Cornwall and Devon. Well, Surrey's incubator has actually doubled in size over the last year, which just shows how successful it is in the current environment. And it's been a very important part of the local economy and indeed the regional driver for innovation. Well, I think a space incubator is particularly interesting. Obviously, the UK has to look for areas in which it can drive forward new activities. Space is a rapidly growing area. It's going to be worth $40 billion by 2020. And of course, here in the southeast, we have a particularly strong research cluster. And indeed, here at the University of Surrey, Surrey Satellites was one of our most successful spin-outs ever and has gone on to grow to be a very significant company in that area. Well, the Surrey 100 Club is a very good example really of a business angel network which the university really pioneered just a few years ago. It's already raised over £4 million towards supporting regional new innovative businesses. A good example here is Naked Energy, which this year in fact won the Shell Springboard Award, and it's had over £600,000 investment targeted on its solar and thermal energy business. Bristol's had a very exciting year where it's capitalised on a model very similar to the Surrey 100 Business Angel Network, except it's actually taken an existing network to build a new investment framework there. Looking at other successes there, they've raised £17.5 million for Go Science, Nodal and .com, which is, I think, a very exciting step forward. Well, in Bath with the Retention People company, this obviously was a graduate startup model. It's had a turnover of over £360,000 last year and perhaps inevitably led to a trade sale, allowing successful reinvestment back into the Sulis Seed Fund. Redlux from Southampton, which originally showcased in 2009, has had a very good year, exceeded its 2011 sales targets. It's been able to recruit more staff, add more key customers. So I think looking at a very exciting step forward as it's also secured future investment. Well, Humorware, of course, who showcased last year in 2010, again has had a very successful year. You'll recall that this is a company that basically does software for helicopter maintenance and scheduling, and it's won support from the Canberra Corporation in the United States, as well as winning contracts from the US Army and Navy for helicopter maintenance aspects. Well, SETsquared's played a very important role over the last few years. Over 1,000 companies have received support from SETsquared, and indeed 250 are currently in the portfolio being supported today. We've raised over £750 million in the last 5 years, which I think everyone would acknowledge was a very challenging environment. And over 90% of those companies that have gone on, if you like, to graduate have been successful, which again I think is a pretty unrivaled track record. So this represents an extremely important route really through to the investment community and demonstrates success.